Well, we're back together now with men and women together. We've had the men asking the girls questions, the girls asking the boys questions, and then seeing the answers back and forth. And then we pulled back together. Ruth met with each one of you, and I've met with each one of you. And now we want to get some of your response to each other, and then we have some comments that you all have made that we'd like to comment on. Okay? Ruth, what do you have?
Okay, here's something that the guys said to the girls. Sometimes we don't want a commitment, we just really do want to be friends. Girls, what do you think? The guys said that.
Heather.
If you just want to be friends, make it known from the beginning. Don't lead them on. Don't sit there and do this and that and this and that and then say, oh, halt. I mean, we just want to be friends, right? You have to let them know from the beginning. You have to be clear-cut. You can't just walk this way, walk that way. You have to walk straight down the line and make it known.
I think one thing we're saying here is signals can be misread and everything, and so we need to verbalize it. Is that what you're saying, Heather? We need to come right out and verbalize where our feelings are.
You know, I think that's true also, but it's kind of hard to be friends, like, after you start hanging around a person for the longest time. Like, you know, I'll goof around, I'll flirt with people, so and so. Thing is, I am scared as heck to get in a relationship. So, you know, I just like to be friends, and girls can't understand that. I'm like, I'm just being friends because I don't want to get hurt in a relationship. And then everybody says I'm a flirt and everything. But I don't know. If you get that point across right then and there, then things just don't flow as easy. So.
Have you been hurt in a past relationship that has caused that?
Only one time, and I never let it happen again. So I've never taken a girlfriend after that.
So is it just that you guys want to have fun and no responsibility or something? I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we'll all flirt and touch and all this kind of stuff, but no way do I want to get serious or anything like that. That's it?
Mm-hmm. It seems to me that most guys look at a girl and they have certain aspects of a relationship are there, like the physical or the security reasons, like he'll always have a date for after the game, he'll always have a date for this dance, always this. She's always there when he needs them. But the most important aspect's not there. It's the emotional bond that the girl wants, and that's not there. It's just, I really think that a lot of guys are just non-committal. That's where the problem
Guys?
is.
I just want to say, if you guys don't want to be committed to someone, then don't treat them in a way that you would if you were committed to them. I mean, if you're not gonna just kiss them or just hold their hands alone, then don't do it to anybody, because it's not fair to every girl that you're doing it to. It's not just not fair to me, but it's not fair to the other 3 girls that you're doing it to also. You know, they all want the same thing. They all want you for themselves. And if you can't do that, then don't try and share yourself with everybody, because it's not gonna work.
How are we supposed to know when you want the commitment? Like, I mean, the commitment, I mean, the guy can't just play it off. I mean, hey, oh, she looks like she wants a commitment, I mean, without looking like a fool. I mean, it's hard. I mean, when do we know how to get the commitment?
You have to communicate. You have to talk about it.
Like you were saying about you didn't know when, it doesn't hurt to ask. Not saying that you probably would make a fool of yourself or you wouldn't, but just ask. If you really like the person, ask her if she's ready to make a commitment.
I think what we're saying here is communication again and talking. I think one of the comments by one of the girls when asked, when a guy says, how do you know if you can kiss her or not, she wants to be kissed, and one guy says, well, you just try it. And one of the girls said, no, you ask, because that's a lot less embarrassing if you're turned down than if you try to kiss her and you just start sucking hot air when you go for it. I think there's a principle here that would help all of us in relationships, whether dating relationships or what, and that is honesty. And 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 7, when you read about how love manifests itself, it's talking about honesty. And then the Bible talks about telling the truth in love. Telling the truth. First of all, you do tell the truth. I mean, you don't lead somebody on, but you do it in love. And what does that mean? it means that when you tell the truth, say to a person, you know, I just don't want to continue this relationship, then you make sure your feelings are right at that time. You're not angry, upset where you'd hurt the other person. And the timing of it, where it would be the greatest blessing to that other person, not when it would be the greatest benefit to you and the most comfort for you to do it, but for the other person. And so as you tell somebody the truth, you're thinking in love of that other person. And how can I do this? How can I say this in a way that will be truthful and yet not hurt as much as it could otherwise the other person? And sometimes that might mean you might wait a week or two until that person's emotions are right to be able to share with them. But speaking the truth in love. And that's been a lot of today. What other comments do you have
Sure
there?
has. Let's see. Here's something else the guy said. You know, they feel like they're the ones, the guys are the ones that always have to send you cards and send you flowers and send you presents. But they said they would like you to know it feels really good for them to get something from you. Don't feel embarrassed to drop them a card or send them a flower. They really like that too.
Not from my personal experience, but I know not all guys feel that way. I've seen girls give flowers to guys and they've been embarrassed and they go and they take them and they give them to their mom or stuff. I mean, I can see other stuff like things that maybe a guy would appreciate more than a girl, but gifts sometimes make them feel, I don't know, lower or inferior.
What do you think, guys? Oh, Amber, what do you think, guys?
Sorry. I've given flowers to guys before, and at first they're like, what do I do with it? Do I throw it away or put it in a vase, you know? And then...
Or wear it on a lapel.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes they're really embarrassed, but I know from experience that I think they really do like it, and I think they're just hiding it because it's not macho to get flowers and stuff. And I think no matter what, they really do like it.
Would you say, guys, that maybe you choose the time you do it and the place and who's around when you do it?
No.
Just so if all the guys around will walk up and give you some flowers?
Yeah, that'd be cute. It'd like be spontaneous. It's like she's saying, I don't care what your friends are gonna think. It's like I only care about you. I don't care what the girls are gonna say about me. I want to give it to you right then and there. You know, don't worry about them. Just I want to give them to you because you're you.
Shad had something
That's
to say
nice,
too.
Al.
Shad had something to say too.
Shad?
I was just gonna say it looks stupid, and it make me feel weird if some girl dragged me off to a dark corner and said, "Here," you know. I'd feel like, you know, why couldn't we have done this, you know, in front of everybody?
I like that. I like that. One of the comments was, friendships need to be the basis of relationships. Boy, that is true.
Yep.
That I think one of the keys in maturing and growing is taking a friendship and build it into a lasting relationship and getting to know one another as friends and then seeing what God does in that relationship to take it from there. And I think almost the longer you can remain friends, the better it will be if it ever does become a lasting relationship.
I was just going to say, I think it's important to realize, too, like what you were saying, that there's a lot of different levels of friendship, and you can't just meet someone and jump from level number 1 into, boom, you're in a relationship. If you skip all those levels in between, you're not going to find out maybe if you're incompatible with that person until it's too late, you know? Maybe you're only boyfriend and girlfriend, but what if you skip and you jump right into marriage? You know, you need to establish all those levels and go from acquaintance to friends to good friends, like you were saying, and those are all important. You can't skip one.
And that takes what?
Communication.
And time.
Oh.
Takes time.
I agree. I think that friendship is very important because if you jump right into a relationship, then you ruin the chance of having a good friendship when that relationship ends, where if you would have taken the time to develop a friendship, it wouldn't be so hard, and you never know, you could have been the best friends in the world if you had just taken that time.
Wow. Thank you. Good insight. Heather?
I can speak from experience because I just came out of a relationship exactly like that. And it was really hard because we were acquaintances. I knew his name, he knew mine. And for about a week, we held hands. And then all of a sudden, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I'm like, whoa. And it went on for about a month where we didn't even talk. I mean, all we did was go out. That was it. We just went out. And then he dropped me off. There was no communication whatsoever. And it was so hard. I finally had to get out of the relationship because it was tearing me away from God. It was like I was so stressed about it, my spiritual life just crumbled. And
So
now,
what did you learn from
well,
that?
we broke up, and now we're like, we've decided that we're going to be awesome friends. We have to get close. And then if we decide to get back together, then we'll have a foundation for it.
What do y'all think of that, guys?
And it's like, I think we all know we're supposed to be friends when we start off. Like, you first meet and say, oh, let's take it slow, let's be friends, where we've learned from experience. Then, like, a couple of days later, you may just, like, be at the right situation on the beach or walking around, and you just may kiss the person. And from that point on, it's like, uh-oh, you're starting the cycle. And you didn't mean for it to happen, but it's happening anyway. And you're like, I know this is not supposed to happen, but if I continue in on it, maybe it just may work this time. And then that's when they start breaking up because, you know, you start rushing it and you don't mean to. So I think that's kind of messed.
Take time to build the friendships. Amber?
I have a good example of like what can happen if you have a best friend before a relationship, because I did that with my boyfriend. We were best friends, and then we got into a relationship, and having a relationship was fun, but we had so much more fun just being friends that we broke it off, and now we're just best friends again, and we didn't have any problems breaking up.
You probably had a freedom in being a friendship. There weren't a lot of high expectations. Wow. Another comment was that the standards should be set right up front. Several of the girls say something about if the standard is set right up front, you're less apt to get physically involved. Ruth, we did the Why Wait National Essay Contest, and one of the top 3 ways that young people wrote in to keep from becoming involved physically was to do 2 things. 2 of the 3 things was have your standards set right up front. Before you even start dating, know what your standards are. And then second, and which was brought out here, plan your dates. A number of you brought out how, what was the comment? That how a guy would go all this work, right, to invite a girl out, and then he shows up and he has no plan for the evening. Nothing. Went to all this work, money and everything else, and no plan for the evening. These students that wrote us said one of the best ways to keep from being physically involved is to plan your dates ahead of time. And so many of them said, I became physically involved and my boyfriend showed up, we had nothing to do that evening, just went out, and then it just happened. It just happened. And so I think we can learn that from here about planning dates and setting our standards up front.
Yep, I agree. I also think that setting your standards up front goes right back to communication. Right back to it.
Another comment, a number of comments came out about peer pressure. And I think this is one clear thing today, that in the way we relate to each other, both as friends and in a dating relationship, peers play a powerful part. And this came out strongly when the girls want to know from the guys, why is it when we're alone with you, you're really cool? And then when you're around your friends, you just kind of turn us off. And you don't even talk to us or anything. And several of the guys brought out peer pressure. The pressure that being around the other guys put on them.
I think they need to realize that hurts. I mean, if you aren't proud enough to talk to us when you're with your friends, or you know, show them, well, this is my girlfriend, or I'm proud to be with her, then we're gonna wonder how much you guys really like us, because your friends are important, and we like to know that you like to express us to your friends. And if you can't do that, then that's not really fair, and it hurts us, and you guys don't realize that, but it does.
Alf has a
I got a
comment.
question. Like, say, this is for the girls. What would be the proper way, just out of curiosity, to go up to a girl that you've never met before and, ask her what her name is and get to know her? What do you guys think would be the best way to say, I'd like to get to know you?
I think a lot of times if this is in a school situation and you meet her the first day of school, you say, well, hi, I'm Alf, and what's your name? And then, would you like to eat lunch with me and my friends? I think to me, that would impress me, and that would just make me want to get to know you better.
If you meet a girl like at the mall or something, go up and introduce yourself and tell her there's something going on. Like later on, ask her to meet you. like if there's a party going on or something, and just instead of not go out by yourselves or anything, like a group setting. That's the way to get to know someone, I think.
Almost like saying be upfront about it.
Something that might scare a lot of girls is if you go with a big group of guys and it's just like she's by herself and you're like, ah, you know, so.
Okay, let me ask you all a question. In front of the guys, let me ask you girls a question. Would you appreciate it on a date if a guy, in a very appropriate way, took the initiative spiritually and what would you girls feel if a guy said, would you like to start the evening with prayer? Let's start our night out with prayer. What do you feel about that?
That would be totally cool.
Totally cool.
That would make the date. That would be awesome.
I was going to say the same thing.
That would impress me so much. It would just make me want to say, hey, this is a nice guy to go out with.
It would just show me that whenever I had a bad day, I could just run up to him and say, oh, look, you know, I need you to pray for me. And if you can't do that with your boyfriend or someone you're interested in, then it's probably not going to work. And it would show me that he'd do it.
He'd do it for you.
It'd make me feel a lot safer, because I know he wouldn't be, like, on top of me the next minute.
Good point.
Okay.
I think that most Christian relationships are the better ones that work out, because when you're both Christians, you guys have, like, you know, like, you guys don't try to just go overboard, but you guys, like, set your standards on what you need to do.
Heather?
I think a lot of girls like it when the guys take the spiritual initiative, because when say you go out to dinner and he says, well, would you like to pray or would you like me to pray? You're just like, wow, how cool, you know? And like my ex-boyfriend, he used to read a chapter of Proverbs every time we went out, before we went out. And it was so cool. I mean, that was the one thing that kept us together.
Guys, let me ask you this question. Why don't most guys take the initiative spiritually?
Well, for me, it'd be like, oh, well, let's pray. And then, like, your hormones may kick in later. And then you try to kiss her. But then she's all like, well, we just prayed. And you want to kiss me? You know,
it sounds like a good reason to pray, Alf.
Guilty conscience.
But you know, Alf, you did hit the nail on the head. I mean, face it. It's pretty hard to say to a girl, you're getting ready to go in, and you're ending the evening, and you say, let's pray. And she says, just a minute, I have to button up my blouse. You better believe when you do start and end a date with prayer, it makes you more sensitive. It keeps you on the cutting edge. Not only in dating relationships, but I think through a whole day when you start the morning and you know you're going to end that evening thanking the Lord for that day. You're more sensitive to how you treat people. What does a guy do if he's gone, he's a Christian fellow, and he went too far? And when he got home that night, he realizes that, girls, what can a guy do to set things right?
First of all, the couple needs to talk about that, and like if he's the only one who thinks they've gone too far, then maybe he should evaluate if she's the right girl for him, because if she doesn't think they have, she's going to be always pressuring him.
Well, even if she doesn't think they went too far, but he thinks he does, should he go to her and
Yeah, he should go to her and say, listen, this is what I think, you know, this is where I think we should have drawn the line, and I went too far. And he should apologize even if she doesn't think they went too far. And then he should say, if you have plans to go farther than this anymore, then I'm sorry, I can't.
That becomes a real ministry to that person's life.
Mm-hmm. I think that once he's, asked for forgiveness from God and made a decision in his heart that he's going to become spiritually clean again, if he's, decided to make a change, then the next relationship he gets into, he needs to up front, maybe not the first date, but, when they start talking about stuff like setting the standards, he needs to say, I want you to realize that this happened in my life, and but I've made a change, so that she knows, because if even marriage is an issue, you're going to have to tell her sooner or later, and I know that she'll probably appreciate it more if you tell her to begin with than if you wait till the very last second and say, well, wait, this happened to me. So, tell her in the beginning, and she'll appreciate that.
Boy, it comes back again to communication, Ruth. Be upfront, be honest, tell the truth in love, as the Bible says. And I think a lot of what we've been talking about today comes back to what I think most of you agree, friendships. And we need to learn how to build friendships and then to take these friendships into lasting relationships. I've been married 19 years. Today's my anniversary, as I told you all earlier. And I just, with one of the breaks, I went and called my wife and wished her a happy anniversary. I think she about died that I remembered it. But I consider my wife my best friend in the whole world. And then after that, my children. My son, who is 14, he'll say to me every once in a while, "Dad, you're my best male friend." And we are. And as a result of that, we have built a really neat family relationship out of the friendships. Amber.
I'd like to say that if you guys think about everything we've been saying, it's always, you guys do this or you girls do this. I think in a relationship, you should be more concerned with yourself and what you're doing, you know, try to make yourself better and, you know, focus more on yourself as to what you can do to better the relationship rather than you do this and you do that. Otherwise, you're going to make all the problems that you have with the person worse.
You know, Josh, one of the things, I've been married 13 and a half years, and I got 3 kids. And one of the things my husband says a lot is, in order for you to be a better wife, I have to be a better husband. He says, I can't tell you what to change. I can't tell you how to do this or how to fix that. I just know that if I love you better, you'll be a better wife. And so I have to be a better husband first. And that's just like what you said.
It's not so much finding the right person, but rather being the right person.
That's right.
And guys, if you want a 10, you need to be a 10. A lot of guys want a 10 because they think they're a 2 and it'll pull them up to an 8. But, and girls, if you want a king, you need to be a queen.
Yep.
That's right.
It's not so much finding, right, Al?
I agree with that.
It's not so much finding the right person, but first of all, being the right person. And even we can all ask ourselves, when you go into a relationship, what am I bringing into this relationship? Am I healthy? Is there good, healthy attitudes, everything in the relationship, spiritually and all? If not, then you'll be mainly taking from the relationship. This has been good. I think we've all learned a lot today about each other, and as important, we've learned a lot about ourselves. And even more important than that, I think we've learned a lot about how our relationship with God through Christ can relate into friendships and relationships. I've learned a lot from here and looking forward to my own children watching this on video and being able to see it on TV and everything, so they'll learn from all the insights that you've had in the give and take. And I just personally, on behalf of Ruth, want to thank you for coming and be a part of this program today. Kim Boyce is going to sing a song now called Longing for Someone. And I want you to listen to it. It's emphasizing you can learn to trust again. Maybe you've been hurt. Maybe with parents, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, just a friend, someone, you've been hurt. But through Jesus, you can learn to trust again.